few moments later.
Hello everyone, today we will present you a material about child labor, but before that, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Jessica Cheryl Lim.
My name is Margreth Oktaria.
So let's just get started into the material and have a watching everyone. Okay, what is child labor? Child labor is the exploitation of children through any form of work that interferes with their ability to attend school or endangers them mentally, physically, socially, and also morally. The forms of work they do depend on the child's age, the type and hours of work carried out, the condition in which the work is carried out, and what goals they want to achieve. Please note that there were around 160 million children in child labor at the beginning of 2020, and another 9 million children were at risk of being affected by COVID-19. This happens to almost 1 in 10 children worldwide. Almost half of them do dangerous work that directly harms their health and development. There are several factors causing the emergence of child labor, such as poverty, low education, the development of the informal economy, the low costs incurred by entrepreneurs who employ children compared to employing adults, the absence of workers' organizations in the informal sector, and the large number of child workers. The existence of customs or social system that allow children to be involved in work from an early age. Economically, the supply of child labor is almost the same as the supply of the labor force. But theoretically, if children work and earn income, this reflects an increase in children's welfare, an increase in the number of hours worked. This also affects the number of hours worked. Therefore, with the emergence of these factors, we must try to reduce the poverty rate in Indonesia, improve the national education system, and also enforce laws regarding child labor.
Okay, so now we will discuss about the impact of child labor. Firstly, the impact of child labor is about mental development disorders. A 2022 study found that children who are victims of child labor, long hours, physical and verbal abuse have a higher risk of developing mental illness. In particular, it was found that certain physical and mental health problems resulting from work in childhood can persist into adulthood. Some of the impacts include anxiety, depression, low self-confidence, antisocial behavior, and lack of sleep. The majority of them suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder due to damage and environment in which they work. And the secondly of impact of child labor is about health risks. Child labor poses significant health risks for children, including physical, mental, and development issues. These risks can range from exposure to hazardous conditions, lack of proper nutrition, limited access to education, and increased vulnerability to physical and emotional abuse. Long hours of work can negatively impact a child's physical well-being and hinder their overall growth and cognitive development. Additionally, the lack of proper healthcare and safety measures in many child labor situations further exacerbates these health risks. Efforts to eliminate child labor are crucial for ensuring the well-being and future prospects of affected children. The thirdly impact of child labor is about obstruction of education. Child labor has detrimental effects on education as it often interferes with a child's ability to attend school regularly and engage in meaningful learning experience. Some of the impacts include a limited access to education, reduced learning time, lower educational attainment, cycle of poverty, negative impact on cognitive development, and long-term consequences. Efforts to eradicate child labor often involve addressing this educational challenge to ensure that children have the opportunity to receive quality education and break the cycle of poverty. And the last impact of child labor is about exploitation and abuse. Child labor is a practice where children are employed to do work that is detrimental to their development, both physically and mentally. Abuse and exploitation occur when children are exploited for economic gain without regard to their rights, welfare, or education. It involves human rights violation and requires concerted efforts by governments, international organizations, and society to eradicate it. This exploitation can take the form of harassment or violence due to the inadequate protection. And next,
Okay, based on the data we have researched, the number of child workers in the world has increased again in 2020. The latest data is data for 2020, and the country that produced the most child workers is India. About 270 million Indians still live below the poverty line. Based on the Global Slavery Index, the giant country in South Asia currently still records 18,354 and 700 forced laborers. Most work in the informal sector, while the rest work as prostitutes or beggars. From this data, we can conclude that the child labor case is not a case that can be underestimated in this world, because if left alone, there will be increase in the percentage from year to year. Don't forget that child labor will have a negative impact on various aspects of life.
okay, next we will discuss about the child labor cases in Indonesia. Once upon a time, a store owner on a high bluff in North Sumatra named Dora Silalahi was sent to a high slave prison. Dora was previously ruled a suspect in a case of slavery and violence against the underage children. A case of alleged slavery and violence committed by Dora was first reported by the LPAI City of High Cliffs on October 21st, 2022. The two victims were minor children of the RMS. He is 17 years old and SPM is 10 years old from the city of Sibolga. The brothers had been living at Dora's house for 4 years. The brothers worked for 2 years at a store that sold Dora booze in the center of a high block. Apart from being hired without pay, the victim was also physically assaulted. The case was brought to light when the victim was found by a PTKI's employee confined to a locked room in starvation. The police then picked up Dora Silalahi. However, upon extraction, the suspect called in sick. After the perpetrator recovered, she was locked up in a high cliff prison.
Okay, seeing that child labor cases are getting worse, we definitely have to take action to deal with these cases. The following are several actions that can be taken to overcome the problem of child labor, including 1. Development and enforcement of law. Law is definitely the rule most obeyed by society because this law is related to the state and government. Therefore, by enforcing the law, it is hoped that the percentage of child labor cases can be reduced. The second is education and awareness. Education is also one of the important things needed by all society because education is a benchmark for a person's thinking and behavior. As a good society, we must also have awareness to prevent child labor. Don't let child labor occur more and more. The third is financial assistance. As has been discussed, the main factors in the occurrence of child labor are poverty and unemployment. By providing financial assistance, it is hoped that parents will be able to manage the money for their families, daily needs, and not employ their children anymore. And the last is community empowerment program. In relation to child labor cases, sometimes the community does not have a better understanding of what child labor is and its impact. Sometimes they even normalize this, even though it can have a bad impact on the country and the child. Therefore, by holding an empowerment program, the community can be more connected and concerned and have an understanding regarding child labor itself. Okay, and the last thing we will discuss is how will the ILO or International Labor Organization respond. Child labor is caused by a decline in human resource related to slow economic growth and social development. Recent ILO studies show that eliminating child labor in transition and developing countries could produce economic benefits that far outweigh the costs, most of which are related to investments in better education and social service. The ILO's fundamental standards on child labor constitute the two legal pillars of global action to combat child labor. In this case, the ILO held a convention to discuss problems related to child labor in Indonesia. The ILO's International Program for the Elimination of Child Labor, or IPEC, was established in 1992 with the overall goal of progressive elimination of child labor, which it sought to achieve through strengthening the capacity of countries to address this problem and encouraging the movement throughout the world. IPEC efforts to eliminate child labor are an important aspect of the ILO's decent work agenda. Child labor not only prevents children from gaining the skills and education they need for a better future, but also perpetuates poverty and impacts the national economy through loss of competitiveness, productivity, and also income potential.
Okay, that's all the presentation we can give to you guys. We are really sorry during the video is there something wrong or anything else, and we really hope that our videos can provide benefits to all of you guys who's watching this video. And thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.
Bye bye.